Hey guys, welcome to this unseen video for Smackdown, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. And obviously there's lots going on. I'm sure you've seen the news. We're going to touch on as much of it as we can, and this is a stacked video. So a big thank you to everyone that sent things through, like Brady, who sent through this, tagged me in this from Adam Goldberg. Vince McMahon's profile has been removed from WWE.com. Of course, I'm sure you've heard the news. Vince is out. He has resigned. We've done a separate video on that. We're not going to kind of spend too long on that. I feel like that video boxes that off, but his profile already removed from WWE.com. Dave Meltzer has spoken on a few topics to do with this subject. So he said Vince really isn't coming back this time. He doesn't have the voting power. The lawsuit has made it impossible. Sponsor pullouts can be a domino, and that needed to stop the dominoes from falling. So they needed to prevent, one sponsor had pulled out, Slim Jim. There was rumors, reports of another that was pulling out. I don't think the name of that got released, but as Dave just said here, this was going to spiral. It was dominoes that were going to keep falling. Something had to be done, and so we've seen Vince resign. The odds are on him going to AEW. Dave worded this weird. He said the odds of that are barely higher than the odds that Tony Khan pays me. Technically, both are 0%. I thought I'd include it because it was just a bit random. He could have just said, no, that's not going to happen. But he had to include about Tony paying him, which is obviously a touchy subject. A lot of people feel that Tony Khan does pay Dave, but there's no evidence of that. And then here, look, I find it likelier that Vince will start up a rival company. This from Andrew. Dave said he would fail so fast. Even he knows that. He'd maybe get ahead of TNA, but he would be light years away from WWE and AEW. I just thought that was really interesting. Really interesting. There's more here. There is a belief, depending on who you are, a concern, that Endeavor may sweep out anyone close to Vince and his remaining team in order to have a fresh sweep of the company going forward. So I believe there are people still employed that were close with Vince, maybe even close to these allegations. There is a belief that we could see a sweep of that personnel, because obviously we know they are trying, WWE, TKO are trying to distance themselves from these allegations. This from No DQ via PW Insider. There are some that are hoping that Vince McMahon's resignation opens the door for Stephanie McMahon's return. What I would say about this is there's a lot of people that are blaming her for not running a more thorough internal investigation, because there was an internal investigation done. And obviously in that lawsuit, it says that this lady was not contacted. That has been disputed now, but I think there are a lot of people questioning that internal investigation. She oversaw this, so I don't know. I'm not sure that it is going to lead to her return, but again, wanted to include it. There's a lot of interesting stuff swirling around. This is a monumental day. I said during our stream, our Smackdown stream, you can't tell the history of WWE without talking about what has happened today. It is monumental. Again, there is a link here. Cal has provided a link, law and crime interview with this lady's lawyer. So the lady that's brought forward these allegations, her lawyer has actually sat down and done an interview. There is a link that Cal has provided there, so you can find that on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I have retweeted it out as well, though, so you can obviously go to CalW95 and find the link over there. Johnny, Autism Wrestling, shout out to you. So this coming via PW Insider via WrestleMania. Okada nor Mercedes Moné are expected to be in the Royal Rumble, right? We will kind of come back to Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks, in a little bit. This, I think, is really interesting. Thanks again to Brady. You can see that Bianca has picked out her number and is basically saying, you know, I'm ready for tomorrow. And people are looking and you can see the number. It either is a 7, upside down 7, or maybe a 2. But she actually seemed quite pleased with her number on the show. She wasn't down. She wasn't disappointed. If it's a 2, I'd imagine she'd be devastated. But she seemed quite pleased. So it is a bit confusing as to like what this means. I honestly think they just had her pose for this picture. I don't think the numbers inside are actually the numbers they're getting. So I believe this has since been deleted is what I've been told. I didn't have time to confirm that, but my understanding is this picture has now been taken down. This to me is really interesting though, because all eyes on that Women's Rumble to see if Bianca comes out at 7 or 2. I don't think it'll be either. I think she was happy with her number. I think it'll actually be later than that. Yeah, this been picked up by a lot of people. Corey Graves said the sky is the limit. Now, obviously, that's connected heavily to Sasha's theme song. And this is something that has really got people excited. The only thing I would say is that Corey has got a history of doing this. He was putting in little teases to CM Punk. And I know what a lot of people are going to say, but CM Punk returned. Yes, but apparently no one knew that he was coming back, right? Apparently no one knew. Corey didn't know. So that would mean that he was putting in these references. Maybe some were coincidental, but he was putting them in to kind of get people talking. There is a chance he's just doing the same here. So I really would take this with a big pinch of salt. I wouldn't get too carried away. But again, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's a connection there. Right, we've got numbers. People picking out numbers. You can actually see some footage. This is digital footage at the bottom of Carlito getting his number. He seems okay with his. I can tell you that Theory seemed okay with his. Grayson seemed pretty pleased with his. So these are people coming in and selecting their numbers. Here you can see, this is the point I was making. Bayley gets her number. She is not pleased, right? She does not seem happy. If Bayley comes out at number 1, I will not be surprised. You can see the facial expression there, right? But Bianca does seem pleased, as we said earlier. So that doesn't seem to marry up with the picture that she's showing of a 7 or a 2. So I think that she's got a good number. I think she'll be out later. I think the picture was a botch. So a couple there. Natalia saying that she would like to see Elektra Lopez go into the Rumble, which is interesting because, of course, Elektra Lopez was on Smackdown tonight. The newest member of Legado del Fantasma. Ava also made her debut, if you will. I don't think she's here permanently. She is the youngest GM in NXT history. That is her role. So she was here because we are going to have some NXT talent in the Royal Rumble. So she was here to kind of oversee that from an NXT perspective. So yeah, there was no Adam Pearce. There was no Raw stars picking their numbers, which I thought was a bit strange. We had NXT here, but we didn't have Raw. But yeah, it was Nick Aldis. It was Ava. I thought Ava did a good job, to be honest. I mean, she didn't have to do much, but what she did was good. Oh God, this was gold. This was absolute gold. So this is R-Truth getting his number, and as soon as he picks it out, he goes, oh, do I have to quarantine? He just hasn't got a clue what is going on, right? And they're like, no, this is for the Rumble, the Royal Rumble, right? And he goes, thanks, Adam. Thanks for clearing that up, Mr. Pearce. And of course, this is Nick Aldis. He is so good. He is so good. And I love this as well from Matt Camp. He says, after the reaction to drawing that number, I think R-Truth has got a great chance of winning the King of the Ring tomorrow. So Matt getting in on the fun of all the confusion that's doing the rounds. But yeah, it was brilliant. Just continuing with the numbers and the drawing. Bobby here picking out his number. His seemed to be okay. Bobby, there was quite a few that picked out theirs that they weren't really giving much away. I would see the ones that seemed the most pleased were Bianca, Grayson Waller, and I think Theories was all right. But those three seemed to be very happy. The only one that seemed to be really down was Bayley. So Bayley looks to have had a bad number. Bianca, Theory, and Grayson seemed quite pleased with theirs. Moving on, Io Sky, we don't need words. We just proved it. We crowned new women's tag team champions tonight. Good little match, actually. Feel sorry for Kaden and Katana. Love this, though. Look at Io in the background. No. You know, they are constantly holding Bayley back, telling her what to do. This split is coming. It's coming. I love this as well. So look at this image here. Gareth, WWE Gareth said Kairi got the Velcro stuck in her hair. Didn't even notice that. But if you look at the picture, you can see that the belt is kind of caught in her hair. There's a few other images where Bayley's actually trying to reach over to try and help her get it out of her hair. I don't know why that really got me, but it did get me. But look at Bayley standing on her own. Damage control kind of all over to that side. Bayley kind of standing a bit away from them. This is pointed out here by Sportskeeda. Look, so they show that image. They also show another image of Damage Control embracing, and they're saying they keep ignoring Bayley. This is definitely a situation to keep an eye on. Triple H said he's proud of Kaden and Katana for holding their own and having an incredibly impressive championship run. And WWE Gareth said it was 40 days. It was 40 days. I'm pleased you're excited, but it was 40 days. Let's not get too carried away. And of course, the classic point-in picture from Triple H. And here we've got Bayley, Io, and Dakota all getting some shots. Seems a bit happier backstage there at the photo shoot. So Asuka and Kairi, the Kabuki Warriors, getting their pictures taken. A few random bits and bobs now. So Logan has signed a contract, which he's saying is full-time. I'll believe that when I see it. I don't know what he classes as full-time, but honestly, the biggest criticism I've got of him is that he doesn't wrestle enough. I want to see him there week in, week out. I'll be stunned if that's what he's signed. But either way, you know, we'll see. Don't hinder the Jinder. Again, Johnny Autism Wrestling, thank you. Don't hinder the Jinder shirt. So you can get your modern day Maharaja merch now. Don't hinder the Jinder. Someone should send one of those to Tony Khan. Then we've got this, the new Final Testament shirt. And I think what's interesting about this is they look cool, right? You've got an AOP one in the back. The End is Near shirt at the front, but the new logo, like a cross, which makes sense, Carrion cross, right? So it's got the cross, and it's got like the F and the T. So the Final Testament is there. The cross for Carrion cross is in there as well. AOP shirt at the back. It's cool, isn't it? It's cool. The Final Testament. And you can see that logo in their name just up here. So the Final. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. There it is. So very cool. New merch. Yeah. Wow. Do you know what? Watson, shout out to you. So we're taking a dub. We're getting a dub. During our live streams, we've been asked, how do you think UFC and WWE will work together? What will that look like? And we've said, well, imagine they rent a building. They do UFC on a Saturday, WWE on a Sunday, or something along those lines. Here we are. So UFC and WWE are going to take over Anaheim. So we're going to have UFC 298. An event we will be covering on the channel on February the 17th. February. And then Raw on February the 19th. So they're doing exactly that. They are taking over Anaheim. So exactly the kind of thing I would expect to see from them. And I think there'll be more of that going forward. This is one of the shirts. I just wanted to include this because this is one of the shirts that Vince had removed. This is something which I don't know if people had seen it, but they do designs for all the previous Rumble winners. Vince had actually won the Rumble before, so this is a shirt that was removed. We've got this here, look, CM Punk going and visiting Cora and visiting with JC and Roxanne. There's a whole vlog that you can watch that's gone up that WWE have put up earlier today, so you can watch that. New movie with John Cena, Ricky Stenicki. I have no idea what's going on there, right? But John Cena dressed as a schoolgirl in an R-rated comedy. So that coming to Amazon Prime on March 7th. Shout out to Shaquem for that. Yeah, this was a clip doing the rounds. Rhea Ripley got asked if JD was in the Judgment Day. Someone pointed out he lost that match. Rhea responded, I thought Mommy decided who was in the Judgment Day. JD here says Mommy knows best because she's saying he's in because I say he's in. So little clip that's doing the rounds there of Mommy dealing with this situation very well. Yeah, look at this fan cam reaction to Trick Williams. What a reaction. Whoop that trick. This is a smart crowd. I think a lot of these people have come in for the Rumble. A lot of these people, I think, are very engaged with WWE, which would mean watching NXT. So this was a great show to have Ava on, Elektra Lopez on, Trick Williams on, and man, they responded. It was brilliant seeing Trick get that reaction. This is a big future star. Big future star. Trick Williams is killing it in NXT at the moment. Whoop that trick. So I just wanted to include this because WrestleVotes actually tweeted this out. I don't know if it was before SmackDown or just as SmackDown began. It was definitely before the segment. So, you know, dub for them. They obviously have got sources. They put this out there before. I'm really pleased I didn't get it spoiled, though. It's a bit of a spoiler, but they were correct. Yeah, this is footage of OC being asked what they or who they think is going to win the championship. Michin, Gallows straight away say AJ Styles. Carl Anderson stays quiet. Carl Anderson, let's go. There is definitely issues within the OC. Big issues. Triple H welcomes Eladio Carrion. Now, I don't know this person. I know of him because of his music video, which features Randy Orton. That's done the rounds. But other than that, I don't know him. He was on the show. Never keen about this, right? But I'm going to give this guy credit. I thought what he did is exactly what I look for if a celebrity is to be on the show. Gareth, WWE Gareth, killing it tonight. Some great tweets. Said Bad Bunny looks different. This bit here. This is why I've got a lot of respect for him. We see a lot of celebrities coming in, standing up to wrestlers, even having matches with wrestlers, even beating wrestlers. Right? This guy came in and was intimidated, was nervous, anxious, was quiet backstage as Solo Sikoa circled around him. He really put over how much of a threat and how intimidated he was. He put the wrestlers first, not himself. He put the wrestlers first. I got mad respect for that. This guy, nothing but respect. Fair play. Fair play. Welcome back anytime, as long as he's not going to have a match and beat the wrestlers. Elektra Lopez, as we said, she made her debut on SmackDown tonight. Brilliant moment. And it was done really well. Makes a lot of sense because she was in Legado del Fantasma when they were down in NXT. So here she is now on the main roster, going after the woman that replaced her, Zelina Vega. And so, again, you know, Fightful just reporting she had joined. Thoughts on the Final Testament's entrance music? They've got new entrance music. Love this entrance. Looks awesome, right? The music, I think, is good. It sounds a lot like Carrion's theme, but yeah, it's not a million miles from Carrion's theme, but it works for them. And that whole entrance is just great. Cody Rhodes is going to be on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. You can see some shots of that. And then I think our final one is, again, Shaquem, shout out to you. You can get a new World Heavyweight title belt for your Bitmoji, now available on Snapchat. None of those words make any sense to me. I know what Snapchat is. I have not got a clue what a Bitmoji is. So if you've got one, just be aware that you can now get this belt for it. Just so you know. And that is it, my friends. This was a long one, but there was a lot to discuss. Again, the Vince stuff kind of lives in a separate video. And don't forget, we will be back on Saturday. I would say tomorrow, but technically for me, it's later today, with a massive Royal Rumble stream. We will start hours and hours and hours before the Royal Rumble event itself and the kickoff show. We're going to go straight the way through all of that. Live reactions, live thoughts, getting your questions, getting your theories, chucking stuff around, reacting to live news as it comes through. Man, honestly, there's going to be so much going on. You are going to be front and center. I want your thoughts. I want your questions. I want your theories. We're going to tackle it all. Massive stream tomorrow. I hope to see you there at some point. Thanks a lot for watching, though. I massively appreciate the support as always. And I will see you in a few hours for the Royal Rumble.